People like Mark and Rob. People like Mark's cat.
Meow. Hold on, let me put my foot on him. See what happens.
You know what I bet will happen?
Yeah, I know what'll happen.
No more foot.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Hey, come here.
What better way to start a show? It's Tuesday night. It's 9:05. Welcome to What's on Joe Mind here on the Superstation. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's the world doing tonight?
Woo!
Great.
Still spinning.
It's the holiday season. So whoop-de-doo and dickory-dock. I'm like, come on, man.
Don't forget to put up your sock.
Well, like you almost got done with the song and you're like, dude, I don't got nothing. Let's just do some Dr. Seuss BS right here and call it a day.
Oh, goodness.
Good old Andy Williams.
I tell you, it's never too early for Andrew Gauguin to get upset at the lack of clicks. So go ahead and hit a button and make him happy.
He's doing the Lord's work right there.
Right?
Yeah.
Doing the work so I don't have to. And that seems to make everybody happy, the less I talk about things. But joining me here in the top row, he's the former head of marketing at Hasbro for the G.I. Joe brand. It's the hot show, Mark Weber.
Right, with a special guest host. Just
Right, he's all over the place tonight. He wants to be a part of this one.
That's just making a drive-by. Get in your condo, man. All right, fine.
So, Mark, a lot of big news this week. Folks were excited because there was apparently somebody's podcast went with somebody who got let go from Hasbro. To which I say, big whoop-de freaking deal. We do that show every week. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Call us when you get to 100 of those episodes, right?
Look, heart. We already talked about last week. Heart goes out to anybody who got let go, a week before Christmas.
Right.
But getting an ex-Hasbro employee on your show, I mean, that ain't exactly.
That's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel now.
Exactly, right. A hard pull right now, right? Like, come on,
right?
Now.
So, sometimes we've had two.
Yeah, right. I want to see somebody get a current Hasbro employee to walk through the background.
Right.
That will be the win. So
visit the basement of Lost Souls.
If only we knew somebody who had the ability to do that sort of thing.
I have no idea if I could swing that, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Well, wait, I'm going to skip Ragtime Rob here. That is not Alistair. What is up with that? No. Who's that?
This is Lemon. So this is one of the kittens. We've had the kittens for a little while. They've been very curious about the garland and the lights, but just now came close enough to actually appear on screen. So yeah, they're not as
camera hungry.
Yeah, greedy for popularity as Alistair. But they're around. Yes,
there's some backstory.
They're almost identical, and they're lemon and lime. They have a yellow collar and a green collar. That's the only way we can tell them apart. If they ever have new collars, there's a possibility they may switch names.
No, it's a good call because if Lemon breaks down, you can take it back to the dealership. So
yeah.
Twins. I think that's the plot of every other episode of the Patty Duke show.
Right. So yeah, if anybody had money on the Patty Duke show reference tonight, go ahead and take that check that one on the board. And right on cue, the incorrigible ROB, Racktime Rob.
Hi, everybody.
Racktime Rob is still teaching this week.
Yeah.
He's got kids all week this week
That
until
ain't right.
he does not on Friday. So Monday through Thursday with kids.
You may be witnessing my last fleeting moments of lucidity.
That ain't right, Rob. Mm-mm.
And of course, in the bottom row, if you've been paying attention to his channel, you know he just made the quick jump over to ours. Brian Lower, Hood of Cobra Commander, guest hosting tonight on the Holiday Spectacular.
Hey.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm out of breath from running to the What's on Joe Mind studio to be live with you tonight. But thank you for having me. Happy to be here. Just happy to help the ball club.
We sent the bullet train out to bring you back to the What's on Joe Mind compound. Was the accommodation satisfactory?
Absolutely. And honestly, I'm my spirits are a bit down, so I'm hoping that you can bring them up. It's I'm not in the Christmas spirit at all, so I'm hoping that you can give my Christmas spirit a goose.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll leave the goosing for what's going on at your house, man.
Mm.
That's
But,
good. Well,
I told you in your comments the Christmas goosing $20 extra.
oh, that's fair. That's fair.
But the Christmas noose that you're wearing may have something to do with the down Christmas season you're having.
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
Come on.
Maybe. I also got this bulb.
Mhm.
Maybe applying this at some place might boost my Christmas spirit. Let's move on to a different topic. Hi, everyone. Happy holidays.
You need to Uncle Fester that bulb.
Right?
Yeah.
But
That was
I
like-
noticed. I did notice that you've lost your Christmas balls, and maybe that is
Yeah.
hurting the mood a little bit.
But they were remarkably distracting. Just brought the whole show down.
As they
Right.
tend to be.
Yeah. Were they too sweaty and they just rolled?
Yeah, they
in?
were-
He gave them the peach sweaty.
Yeah. Hey, here's something for the audience to watch as the show goes on. My voice will grow higher and higher. So, yeah. Now that we've let's move on to a different topic.
I mean, you'll have to talk pretty loud to get over Rob's hot mic. So
Mm.
Woohoo!
he's red hot down there. So Rob, just take it easy, man. Take it easy. We heard you. It's one of those nights where Rob's got hot equipment. It's not his
Hello.
fault. Can't do anything about it. I'm not blaming him. It's just facts of life. Not everybody has the discount pro setup.
That's fair. I'm still stunned by Hoodie's Christmas bulb there. It looked like the world's saddest dilly bar. Like, come on, now,
The Dilly Bar Mini.
right?
I can't think of anything else it could possibly represent. So
It's
No.
one of those
we'll go with
one of
that.
those orange covered ones that just didn't quite make it out of the machine right.
Yeah.
David Warren Hernandez says that I'm wearing his fire team colors. No, this is a green T-shirt, so no. It looks a little darker than it should. I'm not sure what's up with that, but
It's coming off as black on camera.
yeah,
There, yeah.
trust me, it's a solid forest green T-shirt. So almost kind of. And then we got the red sweatshirt, which I made sure to not wear to Target today when I was there.
There you go. What's that like?
I could tell you, but
Mark, you're not wearing stuff to Target all the time.
it would just get your hopes up.
I'm just saying. I ain't been in Target. Well, no, I've been there. I just haven't bought
Anna
it.
Davis says that we noticed Rob had hot equipment years ago. Hey,
Oh,
you got
It's
some
a
single
lady.
friends for Racktime Rob. You go ahead and you set him up.
It's a lady. Ooh.
Get him out of the house once in a while.
I'm too tired.
That's true. He's around children all the time, so I have to find somebody who is just as willing, just as far removed from their willingness to live.
Rob is single and ready to nap. After this week.
So if you're catching us on the Facebook tonight, go ahead, give us some kind of a reaction. Give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us a little huggy guy. We love Little Huggy Guy. If you're catching us on the YouTubes, do all those cool YouTube things. Be sure to other corner. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Leave the big boy comment down below. Share us in all of your various social media circles. Do all those cool YouTube things. Help the channel grow. Because frankly, the algorithm sucks, and I have no idea how to beat it. And we're gonna grow this thing exactly as far as you let us grow. So please be generous with your clickage tonight. We really appreciate that.
Somewhere AbsorbVids is writing down 1219 1040 timestamp quote. I don't know how to beat it, and we'll hear that at some point in the future.
It's a good thing nothing else has been said this evening that he might take out of context.
Except for maybe that 5-minute diatribe about your balls.
Fair enough.
What? I'm talking to the what? I don't know what else that could mean.
Did I say the quiet part out loud? I'm sorry. Derek Holloman notes that don't wear red to Target. You get asked all kinds of questions.
Yeah, but you can answer anything you want.
That is also true. That was what I was going to say. You get to give whatever answers you want at that point.
Yeah.
As I used to work for Target, and now that I don't anymore, it has made for some fun times, because sometimes I was at one of the stores that I actually did spend some time working at. I got asked a question once, not wearing a red shirt of all things. And I actually had an answer. I just kind of snapped the answer off for them without thinking about it. Like, oh, right. I don't work here, but it's there. That sort of thing.
You didn't tell them it was on aisle 13 right next to the goat yourself?
I did not. No.
Okay. Next time.
I did not. I have to admit, you have to get me angry before I'll be that nasty to people. I can be plenty nasty to people, but I'm not going to take the first shot.
I do like that David Warren Hernandez in the over there in the comments thinks I have some kind of insight into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of pull.
Right.
I would say, if I'm being honest, I would say I don't know that they have staff for HasLab anymore.
They haven't hired those complete rookies yet.
Hey, you want to throw a real curveball? Blink 3 times.
Right. This means they don't have the staff to offer another HasLab right now.
Cheapest Big Spender says Mike is the inner voice that talks out loud. Yeah, that's actually true. There has been much of my life I have personified myself as the little dude in the devil suit on your left shoulder that is telling you to do all the terribly wrong but still funny things.
Mm-hmm.
He is evil, Homer. He is evil, Homer.
Yeah, kind of like that. That's kind of me. And then what does the good guy on the right shoulder say? There isn't one of them.
Yeah, haven't seen him. Haven't heard from him.
Nope.
He said goodbye.
I am here to justify your guilty pleasures. That is why I am here.
Hey, can we pop Bart's comment up there, because it's a perfect segue?
Mark, who are you gifting barbecue to instead of coal?
Well, remember I had a buyer set up
Yes.
to buy it for slightly less than retail. Well, original retail with shipping included, just to get it going. And then Ollie's has it for like 74 cents now. So I reached out back to him as a last ditch thing and said, hey, these are at Ollie's right now, but if you're still interested in it, let me know. And he was like, oh man, I totally forgot. I'm in, I'm good. The deal stands. I said, okay, cool. He said, you still got to sign it. So this is the farewell episode.
Let me get it up in the big window, Mark. Hang on.
Right.
Big window for the farewell to barbecue.
Yep.
It's the farewell episode until our next visit to Kokomo Toys.
Right. So note I didn't personalize it in case he wants to flip it for big money and a free spin.
Yeah,
right.
But
that's going right up on eBay.
Enjoy the barbecue, Mark Weber. This goes off to my pal Nick tomorrow.
Be sure to put a WOJM under your name.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I got room for that.
You gotta
Welcome to the show.
you got to at least tie it back to where the joke originated from.
Are you telling me it wouldn't have sold without the push?
No,
I think you're right, though.
I'm saying it's possible.
Right?
But-
go on,
but
Just
go
not
on,
likely.
go on eBay to completed auctions for Slaughter's
We
Marauders.
certainly amplified the joke, if not the sale.
Yeah. Now we're going to
Well,
need new
it's-
material. But
Right. I mean, you've milked what, 4 months out of that? That's
Yeah.
better than you could have hoped.
yeah, with a $20 payoff minus shipping in the end. So
Right.
I think it's win. Nah, it's it's draw, I guess. So fine.
Yeah, Matt Rubin notes 2 ends of the era tonight. Hoodro opened Gung Ho and Mark opened Mark sold barbecue.
Here we go.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I did what? I don't know what you're talking about. I have
It's a double Festivus miracle.
Right?
I have no recollection of that. I don't know what you mean.
He was overcome and blacked out in holiday fervor.
Right.
Yeah. See, this is why you got to avoid that Christmas spirit. Nothing good comes from it.
Or
What's
perhaps-
Christmas spirit? Bourbon or whiskey? Bourbon, gin.
You get generous, and then next thing you know, you got nothing.
Those Christmas spirits, perhaps.
That's the part of A Christmas Carol that they cut out. Is a couple months later when Scrooge had nothing. Merry Christmas.
Whatever. He was probably
Humbug.
dead within a few months. He was fine.
Yeah.
It's all good. He had a happy couple of months before
And he got dysentery.
before he died of dysentery and yet just slightly less long chains bound to him.
One of London's many cholera outbreaks.
Cheapest Big Spender says, it's time for the feats of strength. And I say it's close. It's close because it is time for community calendar. Now, mind you, we have a community calendar special events tonight. This, of course, is the end of the saga part 1. It's going to be our intro tonight, and then we will have a special viewing of the over 2.5 minute long community calendar special after community calendar. So let's watch this. Then we'll do the segment, and then we'll be back with more.
Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
They're coming in the supply door. Welcome home.
We all kept hoping you'd make it back.
We finna get crunk tonight.
Gets me every time with, we're going to get crunk tonight.
Trying to get gung ho in that dance move.
Right? I don't recognize him without his army hat on.
Yeah, he's
That's the retro. He's got the Marine cover.
Oh, it's a good cover? All right.
yeah, close enough. Yeah.
All right.
Alistair's got it. Don't worry. So, Brian, what was the thinking there? You went from 1 cat that you can't handle to 3. What's up?
Well, as it turns out, it's easier to have 3 cats than to have 1 cat because they occupy themselves. They have been, my 1 cat has been far less destructive since we got the kittens than he ever was before. I haven't lost a single toy. Nothing's been chewed up. It's like they don't even care about my stuff. They do cat things. They have a cat tree. They have scratching posts, and they just cat. You know,
I have always said that there is no such thing as having 1 cat. If you're going to have cat, you need to have cats. Yeah, but you also have a dog, Weber, so that doesn't really count. Like
The dog has us, more like, but whatever.
right, but Colin has a companion, right? It's same thing with my dad's cat. He's like the dog is Colin's pet.
The dog is Colin's pet, or their companions. Like Colin hasn't figured out how to kill it and hide the body yet,
Look,
but he's
whenever-
working on it.
whatever the relationship is, they police one another.
I guess that's true.
So yes, 2 cats. You can't have 1 cat. You got to have 2 cats or 2 animals.
It has saved my collection. It's been a great thing. So now I don't worry about it.
Cheapest Big Spender says, "Damn, Rob, dancing like that. No wonder you need a nap."
And that's why the back is out. It's just.
Oh, goodness.
Gung Ho looked like he was getting a little frisky with Lady J with not a flint in sight.
Well, that's from the Viper episode there.
Yeah.
The dancing goes on. Rachel
Yeah.
Salinas asks, "Are there going to be Festivus airing of grievances?" That really depends on you guys. We have a lot of time for mailbag and viewer questions later because not a whole lot happened. Speaking of which, first thing on the old community calendar tonight.
Woohoo!
Mark's already through his first soda. That's
Right.
not good.
There's a backup if I need it.
Oh,
Right,
man.
This could be the first episode of What's on Joe Mind with a pee break.
It's a double.
But Winterfest coming up on January 27th, and I figured I needed to get this in early because we're going to be gone 2 weeks after this. So by the time we come back, we'll be right on top of G.I. Joe Winterfest 4. That is happening at Paraqued, I don't know how to pronounce it, Springs Conference Center in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. 10 to 4 p.m., $8 gets you in the door. $15 gets you in for early bird at 9. Or you can do the Friday night preview from 5 to 8, which also includes admission to early bird the next day on Saturday. Get all the details at GIJoeWinterfest.com in its new home after moving Winterfest off of KYGIJoe.com, which I have to think that we had a hand in that, right?
Probably, right?
Not us.
I'm thinking of going to this. I haven't booked a hotel, but I'd really like to go. I'm thinking about it.
To Winterfest?
It's about a 10-hour drive from here, but and I know that it's got a lot of 12-inch collectors, but you know what? I think I could use a break from any of the Real American Hero drama that might be happening. It might be a good thing, but I'm thinking about it. Plus, I really have the travel itch. I really want to travel. So getting out of town a bit would be a great thing. I'm thinking about it.
All right. I tell you what, man, if weather permitting, if you get to Winterfest, we'll go to Winterfest. I'll go to Winterfest.
Yeah.
I won't speak for Ragtime Rob.
Just throw weed around there, Mike.
I know.
I won't speak for Ragtime Rob. He's a weenie about these kind of
Or
things.
me.
Well, no, I wasn't going to do that.
You said we.
Well, I meant we like me and Rob because
You're hosed either way, man. Either you took me for granted or you're including me in making my travel plans.
well,
So,
you usually when I go to one of these shows, Rob was like, "Yeah, I'll go." So that was the thinking there. So
Oh, if Mark's not going, then I'm out.
yeah.
Right.
I don't, am I free that weekend? Probably. But Rhode Island, man, come on. It is
Yeah.
an island. Plus the bridge. From
The
Barrington
bridge is out.
broke this week. So got a lot of problems.
it's probably less than a 10-hour drive for you though.
Yeah.
No, it's probably far more.
Trying to think, it's 6.5 to about the middle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so
And that was before the bridge broke. So now it's 15 to the middle of Pennsylvania.
It's 15 to get to the grocery.
I swear to God, we left the day after the bridge broke. We thought we'd take surface streets. We left for a dentist appointment for my daughter an hour and a half early. And we got halfway there by appointment time. Called them and said, yeah, not making it. And they said, yeah, we know. Turned around to go home, got home in 12 minutes. Ain't nobody going that way.
So why do people live in Rhode Island?
I don't know, for the job opportunities.
I mean, clearly everybody who lives in Rhode Island used to work for Hasbro.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
But there's 10 of them that I suppose still do. But
It's either
Yeah.
Hasbro or the Pawtucket Pat Brewery.
right? Man, it's going to be a sad day when they take that big spinning Hasbro sign off the gigantic Providence office. They were so proud to open a few years ago.
Did they ever move in?
They moved in, yeah. It was we had meetings over there once in a while, but I mean, they're moving out. I don't know, 7, 8. No, it's longer than that. Probably 10 years later, truly, if you count. Factor in the time AW. That's after Weber. Yeah, it's actually been a while, but yeah, when the lease is up in 2025, I think, or maybe after 2025, they're out. And unless someone just wants to paint over the big spinning square with something else, that thing's coming down.
You know, Spirit Halloween always wanted one of those big spinning signs.
Right? That's not a bad idea at all.
Phil Donnelly asks, we had a hand in the KY?
That's up to you.
I guess. I mean, our question for Phil Donnelly is, what happened to these plans that he said he had that he couldn't join us for the holiday spectacular?
Ooh.
That's what I want to know. That's the invitation was.
Look, he's texting from Space Mountain. You know this.
No, he's in the car on the 95. He's jammed.
It's jammed.
It's jammed.
You know what's jammed out here? It is the 95. Southbound's okay. Northbound's a mess. Totally jammed.
Jammed. That's a long jam.
Yeah.
That bridge is really out.
They managed to get it somewhat. Well, they're not. It was going to take months to fix the bridge, but they went to a side bridge that had 4 lanes and made it 2 lanes each direction, and it's tolerable now. But those first 3 days, oh man.
Phil says plans ended sooner than I expected.
Apparently, he got off the exit at La Jolla.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he tried to pull up the What's on Joe Mind live stream on his date, and that was the end of that. Which understandable.
He must have taken the 4 through East Providence over to Seekonk and then the 143 up Mink Street all the way to Barrington.
To which he was like, "But they've got Hooded Cobra Commander 788 on," and then the door slammed.
If you bring up the What's on Joe Mind a live stream and they walk, it was never meant to be.
Right. That's for the best. That's for the best. They figured out. They found out he's the unofficial 5th host, and that was too much for them right there. Too much.
Hanging out with those guys. Oy.
So, anyways, if you're within 10 hours of GI Joe Winterfest 10, as you would be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, get yourself to Shepherdsville, Kentucky. I know the guys who do this show. They're good guys. They put on a good show. It is a show with a large 12-inch influence if you're into the old stuff, but they also do quite a bit with 3 3/4 as well, because times they're a-changing. So get yourself out to Winterfest. It'll be a good time, provided there isn't 2 inches of ice on the ground. Right. Torpedo Mike's got it down. If she's not okay with What's on Joe Mind, she's not going to work out.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But that's it for community calendar, folks. That's kind of how community calendar goes the week before Christmas.
Man,
so we have our we have our big AbsorbVids premiere coming up.
Ooh.
I'm going to warn everybody; it's about almost 3 minutes long.
Ooh.
So if it just stay with us,
grab a sandwich.
Right, great. This is the time. Get yourself while I give you the preface.
Mm-hmm.
Now go here. This is the time to get yourself a water or a bag of chips or whatever. I have to run this a little different, so I'm going to take everybody out of the window.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have to add everybody back in. So again, things aren't wrong. They're just different because the file's too big for StreamYard. So, do we need, Andrew Galgan asked, do we need a strobe light warning? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably so. Yes, probably. If that's been a problem for you, well, frankly,
pinhole in a piece of paper.
Yeah, you've come this far with us. I don't know what to tell you if you haven't made those kind of precautions by now.
So everybody out there, put your 3D glasses on in 3, 2, 1. Whoa! It's like it's coming right at me. Oh, geez, that's a lot of gum.
Oh.
Put a Santa hat on him and make him gung ho ho ho. That'd be awesome.
Oh dear God. Get start. Brian, how do you? I'm really thinking that maybe doing a show on my own is probably the way to go at this point. That's just can't help it. I have to think that you've got the right idea.
You can carry the show. You know, now that I have StreamYard, where it's really easy to have guests,
right?
I never do it. What the hell is wrong with me?
Better guests than co-hosts is all I'm saying. Now that they can't hear me, they're not that they're just off stage and can hear everything that's happening. Anyways.
But we're still live here, so you know, watch yourself. I just wanted to say how much I really like Mark and Rob and what great guys they are, and I hope they have a happy holidays and a wonderful life, just like George Bailey.
All right, let's give everybody the special that they tuned in for.
I liked it.
It keeps crapping out, so we're just gonna have to post it separately. That
went incredibly well.
Okay, Absorbids is he's apologizing. There's nothing for you to apologize for. When I got it posted, it ran perfectly for me last night and again this morning in non-broadcast mode. So it's just I think it's too much for my little machine to think about, unfortunately. So what we'll do, we will put everything together. I'll attach that to the supercut that was planned for this coming week, and maybe we'll just get that up a little early.
I thought that was kind of how it was supposed to go, and you just killed it before it was about to pick up.
No.
Okay, because they are a little trippy sometimes. That's part of the charm.
Look, this is no different. This is no different. Having watched it a couple times, there's no the motif is still there.
Okay.
But big thanks to Absorbids, and of course, there's Alistair. He's upset that one of his brethren got a cameo and he didn't. So now he's here to even the score.
All right, okay. You're on screen. You're on camera. You happy?
Not only does he want to be on screen, he appears to want you off.
Right? Yes, but I don't understand why you have to be on the show.
Because he's a cat.
Here. All right, buddy. Okay.
He just wants to be a part of what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So thanks to Absorbids, thanks to our good friend Agent Chuckles, James Booth, for chipping in there as well and being a part of the fun. And I promise you'll all get to see it on the channel very soon. We'll get it up there for you guys. So,
it was just so special, the internet could not contain.
Right.
Absolutely. It's not our fault. It's not Absorbids' fault. It's not StreamYard's fault. It's just a little bit more than the little Mac here can handle. Oh, he's back.
Yes. Look who wants to see that. This cat wants to see that video right now.
Why is it so weird, Dad?
I think you need to show him the socks video. That's what you need to show Alistair.
Right.
He's taking up all the bandwidth. You know, he's really kind of chewing the scenery here. I think I've discovered the problem.
Wait a minute. This might be the most harrowing comment ever over in the comments from Absorbids.
Sorry in advance, Mark.
What?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Mark does not wind up playing for the winning team in the video. We'll just leave it at that.
What else is new?
But next time Alistair comes up, I'll play the socks video for him, see if he pays attention.
He might. He used to really like cat videos. He has other cats in the house, and like he's lost all attention. He's lost all interest in human things. Except I do kind of look like a giant cat toy right now, which is why why I'm getting attention at the moment.
Right. Well, your resemblance to the Christmas tree means that he's trying to knock you over.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's trying to wrestle you to the ground.
He's trying to knock off your balls.
Which would turn this surprise visit from fantastic to unforgettable if the cat actually attacks you on camera.
You know what? It would be all right. That's good TV. That's good TV. We'll see what we can do.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's like Kramer's Merv Griffin show, new format. Ambushes and animals.
We always live under the constant threat of cat attack from Colin, but now we're adding in multipliers.
It's kind of like having Jack Hanna on the show and seeing if he'll forget about the Cobra he brought out that's on the desk. Always good.
So I guess we do have to close community calendar properly, I guess. So I'll go ahead. I'll play one of the normal ones.
Oh no.
Brutal chest shot.
Shipless layabout. Shipless layabout.
Duncan here.
I
Every
did
time.
not know this eggnog was spiked.
Oh goodness.
Not stopping you though.
Nope. Just went back in for another gulp.
There you go. All right.
It's time for the news. I'm lagging so bad as the computer attempts to recover from the video that I'm gonna just take everybody's word for it that the news intro just played. I'm just gonna assume that happened. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh goodness. First news item. Hey, Blinken, you missed it. But yesterday, for a very brief amount of time, the HasLab Sky Striker was available on Hasbro Pulse. It was at a list price of $229 as a benefit for Hasbro Children's Hospital. Also include overstock on items like Unicron, the Ghostbusters Proton Pack, and other past projects, most of which sold out within an hour, and many of them a lot sooner than that. So don't feel bad if you missed it. I got an email on this about 20 minutes before noon on the 18th, and it said that yesterday, and the sale started at noon, and so it was quick. Brian, were you in for another Sky Striker? What happened there, man?
No, I completely missed out on that. However, the good news is, I guess if you would like to just give to Hasbro's Children's Hospital, you can do that without necessarily getting a Sky Striker in return. So I may do that. Timmer, our friend Timmer, does a Christmas charity drive every year. You donate to a charity that benefits children. Well, there you go. So I might do that, but I have one Sky Striker. It's in fact right here, standing majestically on my shelf. And you know what? This is enough. One is enough. It's Sky Striker enough, to paraphrase that Barbie movie. It doesn't scan though. It's not as catchy. You can't fit that on a T-shirt. But it's Sky Striker enough.
It's Sky Strikerific. Yeah.
It's not not a smooth rolling off the tongue kind of feel there.
Is that the new one or the vintage one?
What's that?
Is that the new one or the vintage one?
That's the new one. That's the new one.
Hard to tell. They're the same size.
They are very close. Yeah. Well, the same size and the details are strikingly similar. Sky strikingly similar.
Now that's the Michael Corleone line.
Mark Weber.
Yeah.
Why would this happen?
I don't know. I love that they made it benefit the Children's Hospital though, because it makes it look like it's not a cash grab, right?
Right.
So that was nice. And slow down, economic downturn, whatever you want to call it. And we still got a couple $100 for F-14 Tomcats and planet-eating planets. So must not be that bad.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it was just there was overstock because they had to order more in case there were returns or swapping out parts.
I'm sure that's exactly what it was. That they, of course,
sure there were some that you didn't get delivered because of non-payment or change of address. They didn't get back, and so there's any number of reasons as to why Hasbro would have these things laying around. Good on them for at least trying to make something charitable out of getting them sold off.
Yep, that's cool. Well, and something like that's cool too for a website to be like, you know what, you never know when or what might happen, right? So always got to be watching your email and ready to respond. That's not a bad thing to have for something that was available before, wasn't hard to get. You know, yeah, I got no problem with this at all.
David Warren Hernandez asked, did it not come with the bonus tier figures? My impression was that those packages were just sold as is. So whatever it came with in the campaign, it came with when you bought it yesterday. So
yeah, if they just took the sealed boxes and sent them off, then it would include the bonus figures, I would assume.
Yeah, because I imagine that's how they showed up to Hasbro in the first place. Is here's the box. Where do we slap this label on to go? There you go, and then.
But so yeah, not a big deal. Just if you were lucky enough to get that email and be able to get to it in time, great. Otherwise, well, there's always eBay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Next news item. This very vague news release came out last week for Super X clothing from themed with G.I. Joe. It looks like we got a Snake Eye sweatshirt and a Storm Shadow sweatshirt, and it's got a very we're trying to be badass sounding press release attached to it, where they claim to be the first ever action wear themed for G.I. Joe, not counting all those T-shirts that are out there with G.I. Joe stuff on them. I have a tough time getting any kind of reaction on this myself, because the last thing I need to see is more people that look like me wearing athletic cut sweatshirts that are going to wrap to them like sausages like that. So no. Overpriced athletic wear. Your reactions. Put a Cobra Commander 788 Brian Lower.
I own no fewer than 2 G.I. Joe themed hooded sweatshirts, and I am in possession of neither because my daughter, she liked them, so she just kind of kept them. So for that reason, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. This maybe one that I can keep. And you know what I saw her leaving the house with the other day is my my New England Patriots hoodie that I got at Gillette Stadium in like 2006. So apparently she owns that now too. So I mean they're not really my style, but I wouldn't mind having something that I can say no, keep your hands off.
Mm-hmm. I think the weird thing is that your daughter named your hoodies Lemon and Lime. I don't get that.
Rack Time Rob, what do you think?
Whatever.
Right. My reaction exactly. Mark Weber.
I'm 50. I ain't wearing that.
Right.
My reaction is the same as when my kids buy or ask for gym shoes with white soles or white on the outside. Like within a week, I'm like, hey, wear your gray shoes, right? Good luck keeping that Storm Shadow hoodie white or even eggshell or whatever it is. So,
well, if it's accurate, it should turn yellow over time.
Right? Just down the back, one big stripe.
Yeah, this is keeping it accurate.
Diana Davis has the right idea. What I need is loungewear. I want my velour Destro jammies. There you go. Everybody needs velour Destro jammies
to be draped in velvet, ensconced in velvet.
Scottish velvet, the best kind. Yeah.
Is there a Scottish velvet? Is that a thing?
I think that's why they haven't made it yet. Right? It's so expensive.
Clearly. Clearly, that's what's behind it all.
Ain't no shortage of sheep in Scotland. Come on now.
I don't think it's made out of wool.
Steve Young, former Niners quarterback. Perfect opening for those overpriced tactical hoodies all over YouTube. There you go. There you go. Yeah, just again, whatever. But it was a light news week, so we decided to give this a couple seconds to react to it.
Hey, if it sells, great. If it's good for the brand, it's good for the brand, right? So,
right.
Although I don't think
Right.
it's Super X, I think it's Superx, right? Because it's all jammed together there, man. Like Superx.
Maybe it's pronounced like that. Maybe it's Supers.
Man, I did a web search looking for info on this. I just typed in Super-X. Like 8 billion things came up, and none of them were it.
Right.
So you got to make sure to get that squish going. Yeah, Super.
So long as you didn't get Super Triple X going in there, because that's a
Hey,
different thing entirely.
Easy now. Yeah, I once I had to look up a government question, and I tried to find the White House's official website. Don't get that wrong. Don't get that wrong. Just saying.
Brandon R says the Glenlivet is Scottish velvet. Trust me. There you go. So
Okay.
There you go. We have an expert, I guess. But
in my drinking days, I did actually really like Glenlivet. That is a good one.
There you go.
Wait a minute. Weren't your drinking days like 6 minutes ago?
No. It's just eggnog.
Oh, okay.
It's just eggnog.
Okay. It's merely nogged eggs.
I attributed the hallucinations that I was having on the screen there to this. I'm assuming.
That's fair. That was a bad trip, man.
the eggs were expired.
Yeah. That's what does it.
It broke my MacBook.
Right? Those are some Nick Williams mushrooms right there, man. Let me tell you.
Next news item. And this week, the long-awaited release of Strike Force Alpha is there for you. This was a Kickstarter campaign that we completely missed about maybe a year and a half ago. But they are available now through the website whiteelephanttoys.com/Strike Alpha. Friend of the show, Jeb Long, did their website. And so we figure we'll give it a plug here. But these look pretty cool. They've got interchangeable heads and interchangeable arms. They're stylized. They're a little more cartoony looking than your standard Real American Hero type, but they look like they fit pretty well in that world.
Is that a Bullet Man in the back?
It's certainly a Bullet Man looking guy.
I gotta check that out.
Bullet person, I believe. Yes.
I believe they called him Bullet Dude or Projectile Man.
There you go.
But Mark Weber, rumor has it you used to work in toys.
Yeah, it's longer and longer ago.
How you feel about Strike Force Alpha?
You know, I'm in on not all of them, but I'm in on a few of the more military looking ones on Big Bad Toy Store. So I'll have to check because, man, if they're the same price and you can get them right from the source, give them a little more money. Maybe I'll do a little cancel and swap because I like them. I always lend a little more towards the strategic looking military figures. But these are about half and half, right? Between, what looks like a legit military trooper and something a little more fantastical. And some of the fantastical stuff is amazing. I love the dude in the lower right with the gore feet and the spear gun looking laser. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
There's a lot to like here. So, and I think we've talked about a little bit about how lean it has been for 3 3/4 collectors for Hasbro specific stuff. But man, the Kickstarter stuff is really looking high level. So if you're only a 3 3/4 guy or gal, or if you're dying to get some more 3 3/4 in your collection, there's lots of options out there. And is this one first to the finish line?
I believe so.
There's something.
These are available now.
Yeah.
Folks who pledged the Kickstarter have received their rewards. So yeah, this is first to actual retail.
I'm digging it.
Brian, what do you think?
I'm really sorry that I missed it, and I know some of the people involved, so I'm really sorry I missed it. But yeah, they look great. They look fantastic. You are correct that there is a lot of cool stuff coming out in the 3 3/4 inch scale, and with O-ring construction from a lot of these independent toy makers, and they're doing things that, I mean, we haven't really seen, or at least seen very much. So it's really exciting, and now I'll have to go back and see if I can pick some of those up. I did see at least one person comment somewhere in the social medias that all of these third-party O-ring figures are nice, but I only collect GI Joe. I want O-ring GI Joe. So the Super 7 deal then is good news. But for those of you who have a broader collecting scope than GI Joe, there are some amazing O-ring options. Now I'm a GI Joe collector. If I get anything outside of GI Joe, it's a bonus. I dabble here and there when I find something interesting. So yeah, I'm going to be more interested in GI Joe than these third-party things as well. But if you can see your way to looking at some of these independent 3 3/4 inch O-ring lines, they're doing some really cool stuff. And this is amazing. Delta 17 is coming out pretty soon. That's going to be amazing. Operation Recall, we're seeing the development of those, and those are going to turn out really awesome. There's some really good stuff out here, and congratulations to the Strike Force Alpha guys for getting this done, and looks like doing a really good job.
Yeah, what feedback I've seen has all been positive, so I'm very pleased to be able to finally discover these guys, because really, honestly, for everybody bragging in the live chat about how they receive their figures, thanks for the heads up on the Kickstarter. We appreciate that, because I totally missed it. I would have certainly given this some time had I known it existed before it was over, but that unfortunately was not the case. So we'll certainly give it a look now. How about you, Rob? Did I ask you already? I don't remember.
No, you haven't. There's some of these guys that look kind of interesting. I may have to check this out.
That dude on the bottom right is Infiltrator, accent on trader, which I think is kind of cool too. So,
meaning he used to be a good guy with that pedicure.
Yeah,
and now he's evil.
Now he's not.
Now he's evil.
Now he's a young buck.
His toenails have turned him evil.
Right.
His yellowing, too long toenails.
Yeah.
I think they make you take a pill for those, don't they?
What?
I don't
know. I can't say as I've ever had a serious enough toenail fungus to know. But next news item. Once again, we'll cover our holiday programming notes. Remember, this is the last episode before Christmas. Oh, get back here. Is the last episode before Christmas. Next week, I am shooting for Monday night so we can get out on Christmas Day. Special edition 89 will be on with a very special guest. Following week on New Year's, special edition 90 with another special guest. And then we will be back Tuesday, January 9th with the top 10 G.I. Joe news stories of 2023, followed by January 16th, the top 10 G.I. Joe toys of 2023. Those two episodes will be featuring Mark and myself and Racktime Rob and Biff McHonky Donk himself, Phil Donnelly. So that's the next month of what's on Joe Mind right there for you. Thoughts?
I'm excited for the weeks off because doing this is heavy.
Somebody's getting some time off.
This is heavy lifting, but it goes to shows that we're all heart not to abandon you to your families over Christmas, right? We still got stuff for you. You'll be all right.
Right. And those special editions, I mean, special thanks to the honcho for sitting in on those with me. It's Mark and I will be talking to our two special guests on those episodes, which meant some extra nights for him which I always appreciate because Lord knows there are not too many extra nights to go around.
Yeah, the California guys are like, I can talk all night. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, no worries. I don't have second graders to substitute for tomorrow. So.
What could go wrong?
Terry Dizard's in the house.
Celebrity sighting.
He's giving a hooray for Phil. For
Happy
Biff.
holidays to Terry, one of my favorite members of the Joe community.
Absolutely. Haven't been around enough lately, man.
A pillar of the Joe community. Just been in stealth mode.
Yeah. I dare say that we would not know 75% of what we know without the efforts of Terry Dizard and the staff from yojo.com back in the day.
And the 75% plus the 50% chance that Samoa Joe has leads up to, never mind.
Easy there, Steiner. Easy.
Never mind.
Easy.
Yeah.
Apparently that's how they teach math up in Michigan.
Steiner math.
Terry says, too kind, guys, too kind. I dare say not too kind enough.
I mean, it's pretty rare. This is a tough room. So it speaks well of you.
Clearly, Terry does not owe any of us money.
Mm-mm.
Brian, does he owe you money?
Well, I don't know. We had that deal. Well, no, that's right. We worked that out. No,
right.
we made other arrangements. We made some non-monetary arrangements. We're fine.
That debt was transferred to Phil as a part of Bain Capital's acquisition.
Right.
And then Phil washed his car and it was all done.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So, yeah, make a note of it. We're shooting for Monday nights on those special editions just so we can sync them up with the holidays, make them extra special for you. But no guarantees. At very worst, it'll be Tuesdays like normal. So we're doing our best in that regard. Doing our best. Next news item. Hey, it's Chunky Tank Kitty and his Meowler Tank, brought to you by the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast. Be sure to tune in to the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast to get all your Chunky Tank Kitty news, as well as some handy notes on how to handle clear as mud.
Habib.
I'm following. Go on.
Oh,
so possessed with the holiday spirit, he's speaking in tongues.
I can't top that. I'm not even going to attempt to make sense of it. There we go. Remember, click like and subscribe. That's the news. Oh, good Lord.
If there's no news, do you just like play the intro and then you say no news and then you play the outro?
Yeah, but I get to do at least one set of doots. It's in my contract.
Right.
I was just curious. Sometimes there are slow news weeks.
We'll give you an example, Mark. Go ahead. Next news item.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Oh, look at that.
He was napping. I woke him up. He's very upset with me.
Dr. Soxo, the rock and roll cat. He does catnip.
So some people say that I'm crazy killing the momentum of my show by putting a 20-second cat video in the middle of it. I don't care.
Mm-mm.
I dare say it's not too ballsy enough.
Chris, don't worry. That cat loved it.
It's like
Right.
the spinning bumpers on the orange Hot Wheels track, right? We hit it, boom, take off, fourth gear.
Oh, Tank Kitty and the Meowler tank. Good. I'm happy. I love that that's become a thing. I love that is something that folks have latched onto. I merely wish that we had any kind of actual ownership over the cat or the tank, because that's not even our picture.
Mm.
But maybe we'll get a socks version of that. Maybe we'll build socks the cardboard tank. Take it up to visit him, and he can torture the old man with it.
We didn't know this was going to be the cat show. Oh no, he just tapped out. Jesus.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Special guest villainess tonight, Julie Newmar.
Right?
He always comes back.
No, I think he was staying up to watch the AbsorbVids video, and now he's like, "F this." I don't hang around for this.
Technical difficulties.
I'm gonna go see what Elizabeth is doing.
So, what do you say we go headlong into ye old post sock? Do some live action mail call. A lot of folks have been active, sending us actual letters in the last couple of weeks. Remember, if you've got a question for the team, we tell you every week, send it to us at the email that you see on the screen all the time. What's on Joe Mind at gmail.com. There it is for everybody watching at home now. What's on Joe Mind at gmail.com. If you've got customs, if you've got questions, if you've got any kind of submission for the show,
booking appearances,
anything at all, what's on Joe Mind at gmail.com.
If you have a rash that just won't go away, let us know about that.
We may have some home remedies. I don't know. We won't know until you ask us.
If you think
sleeping, try what's on Joe Mind.
If you think Rob should work a whole work week like the rest of the world, let us know.
Don't worry, he is.
You need some slow cooker recipes? Hey, what's on Joe Mind at gmail.com.
Crochet patterns?
I don't know. I don't know if we can help you. Mark, do you have anything there?
No, but I have a lot. I have one from Batman the Animated Series. It's my go-to.
All right.
Has a very square jaw at the bottom of it.
Anyways, first up, we go, hey guys. I heard a rumor a few months ago, but no corroborating evidence, so I just kind of ignored it. Then this past week, I saw the rumor again on Reddit and 2 different YouTube channels. Well, you know it's true then. I know it still doesn't necessarily mean anything. Good. But I haven't heard y'all's talk about it, so I'm wondering if you've heard the rumor at all. The rumor is that there's a small-scale G.I. Joe vehicle line coming, something like Star Wars Micro Galaxy. I've heard both 1/32 and 1/100 scale mentioned, with accompanying tiny driver/pilot figures included. I've heard both Jazzwares and Jada Toys mentioned as manufacturers. I know Jada did a few G.I. Joe vehicles in small scale a few years ago. Do you think something like this would be successful? The low individual price point and small size might be enough to convince retailers to take a shot, especially with the apparent success of the classified line. That is from Israel Wilkeson via email. And thanks for the letter, Israel. We'll hear from him again. But to answer your questions, sure. I mean, to address the rumor itself, that is vague enough that it could wind up being right. It could wind up being completely wrong. And frankly, either way, it looks the same, right? Like you could, I think saying a micro machine style line of G.I. Joe vehicles is on its way is something it's probably never far from the list of ideas they have of putting out product. So sure, it's a solid rumor as rumors go, but whatever. It's neither here nor there. Mark Weber, what do you think?
I think if it happens, if any version of that happens in the next, 20 months, there's at least 2 podcasts that can go, and you heard it here first. Right. So,
and they will.
I like the basic concept, and the design work is already done, right? Like they already have, 100 vehicles that could probably sell. if they wanted to go after something like this. If they did it, I do not believe there would be removable individual figures, right? They're never going to go with a losable or possible choking hazard figure at that kind of scale, either one of them. But you could have the driver attached and already in the vehicle. That's totally fine if you wanted to have that part of it be real. I think there's something there if they wanted to do it, because G.I. Joe, or at least from A Real American Hero on up, was always as much a vehicle line as it was a figure line. So they're not making vehicles much anymore, and they're not making any of it for kids. So if you wanted to make the vehicles, and here's the big and tie it to some kind of game or app where you can play the vehicle, and if you had the actual vehicle, there's somehow you could activate it to get a super version or a better version of that vehicle, or some are only unlockable if you own the toy. There's your win right there, because I mean, Hot Wheels always sell. There's still vehicle play for really young kids. So if you can tie it to something digital, anything that's going to try to appeal to youth at all, down to 3 years old, better have some kind of digital or online tie. So could they do it? Yeah. Could it work? Yeah, I think it could. It'd be a lot of tooling, but it wouldn't be much design. And given that they don't have as many designers as they had last week, it might be exactly the kind of thing they might want to go through with.
Right. Rack Time Rob, what do you think?
I think definitely it needs to be tied into some kind of other media, or I don't see this getting off the ground. Just something to increase that notoriety of G.I. Joe, which, I mean, these figures are kind of out on an island there, and they're being successful in spite of that. But I don't know how much that success would spread to other things. I'm not against it. I think it'd be cool as heck, but until we started seeing, other media show up and G.I. Joe kind of expand its footprint a bit, I'm kind of on the skeptical side.
Mm-hmm.
Cheapest big spender asks, and Hasbro fired the honcho. Why? Making fish in the microwave. Actually, that was
that was it.
Do we have any kind of reverse super chat option where I can send him money? I swear to God, anytime somebody on one of their live streams writes "Where's Mark," it's like my heart does a little backflip. Like, I dig that, so I appreciate it. I was the best there is at what I did, but what I did best got shoved out the door.
Right. I would like it better if the answer for "Where's Mark" was on What's on Joe Mind every Tuesday at 9:00. We need more people to answer that.
Yeah, I got called up.
Right. We had enough of you down on the farm team, and then we decided once you were free, we picked you back up.
There you go.
Brian, what do you think?
Well, they've done some small vehicles before. They've had some multi-pack little micro machine-like vehicles, and then there were the Vamps and the Stingers that showed up at Walgreens that I totally missed in a larger scale. And at least most of the retailers that I go to, the toy aisle with all the cars is still going fairly strong. So if they were to put something out like that, like even without any support, you probably sell a few, because there will be some kids walk down the aisle and say, "Hey, that looks cool," and pick it up. That doesn't necessarily translate into, "Hey, this is G.I. Joe, I want more of it." So, tying it into something bigger than that, I think would be pretty essential for like making some kind of benefit to the rest of the line. But if they just put some cool vehicles in a package and put them out on the car aisle in the toy section, then they'll probably sell a few. And I might pick up a few myself. So it's not far-fetched. I have not heard that rumor at all, so I don't know where that's coming from. But given that they've kind of dabbled in that before, that's one of the things that it probably is going to come around at some point. I like Mark's idea of tying it to an app or a game or something like that. That would be, at least that would be something. I love that Classified is doing well, but I mean, where's our supporting media? Yeah. Right. I'd like to see. Man, I'd like to see G.I. Joe itself as a brand kind of expand beyond those of us who collect it, and the odd kid that walks down the aisle and just picks up one because it's cool. I'd really like to see it, get a goose, for lack of a. I can't think of any other metaphors, but a goose. So I don't know that small scale vehicles will be that vehicle, but it would be something. I don't know. I guess I don't have anything useful to say, but I can say more words if you would like for me to fill more time.
Nah, you're good. We got more questions, but yeah, I just think stuff like this is always low ceiling, high floor. You're always going to move some. Just because it's a car, right? Kids love playing with cars. So whether they know it's a G.I. Joe Jeep or tank or not doesn't matter. It's going to sell, and that's really the bottom line. But it at the same time isn't going to be a runaway hit and isn't going to necessarily do anything to help grow your brand. So whatever.
You build the customer if they know what's behind it.
Right.
What's that cool tank or Jeep used for? Who's got it? What is this G.I. Joe thing?
Next question. Jake Rose says, "Hey, what's on Joe Mine? I think I found the mailbox for the Python Patrol base. Who knew it was in Washougal, Washington?" And,
it's so well camouflaged, I can't see it.
If it wasn't for the flag, I'd miss it entirely. I'd just completely.
Well, you know what? A lot of people might back into that because, as you know, that pattern is probably erasing it from electronic, detection.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can't get picked up on the rear view camera.
So everybody's backing into that mailbox.
And I'm your official Pacific Northwest correspondent. I have no idea where Washougal is. Had to look it up. It's right over the Columbia River. It's barely in Washington. It's almost Oregon. I should know this.
Well, it did come from Jake, who is right in that area. So,
man,
Guy Fieri will be there next week.
Yeah, we noticed that we watch a lot of diners, drive-ins, and dives, Mark, and it seems like every fourth episode they're in freaking Bend, Oregon.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You're complaining about them not having a taco shack or whatever, but
taco time.
Meanwhile, every fourth restaurant getting written up by Guy Fieri and his ridiculous show.
Right, but he hasn't been to Dandy's Drive-In yet, which is a shame because it's right there in the title. But okay, fair enough.
I'm just saying, it's all. You're upset about taco time.
Yeah,
and if I could watch the show on Friday night, and I could give you a list of six restaurants in Bend that you haven't been to.
Yeah, because they're all new. I like the OG stuff, the stuff that my Bend, right?
Your Bend.
Your Bend. Your Bend is dead.
You got to drive half an hour to get to Taco Time now. You got to go to Crook County, man, to Prineville. And only two things come out of Prineville: Taco Time and my boy Troy Barrett. So come on now.
I just see Mark with his hashtag "Not My Bend."
Not my dude. Bend became super Tony after I left, and they're the people who stayed there scream about it all the time about New Bend and people. Now that people telecommute a lot, people who live in Bend who came from California and places.
God,
California.
Yeah, they just took the 95 and took it. They took the 5 and took it all the way up.
Jake Rose says, "No Friday like Blockbuster and Taco Time."
Dude, same guy who opened Pacific Video and turned them into Blockbusters eventually. Still owns it. Family owned. The Tischer family, great people. Go to Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon, and Taco Time in Prineville, Oregon. Fine. But hey, Diana Davis with some Bend trivia that I know.
All right. So why did they name it Bend anyway?
It's where the Deschutes River takes a pretty good turn, which comes down, which runs kind of north-south, but it goes yoink around Bend. And so it was originally called Farewell Bend because that's where people going down the river would disappear because they'd go around the bend. So eventually they shortened it just to Bend, but that's where it comes from. It's heaven on earth. Go visit.
Basically the same reason why South Bend is called South Bend.
Why is it called South Bend?
It's by the south bend of the lake.
Okay.
They changed it from Pretty Good Turn.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. Can't wait to get back.
So just again, hit up the Triple D website and find out all the cool stuff in Bend that wasn't there when you were there.
Yeah, I'll take a look because everything that was there when I was there is pretty much shut down, other than Blockbuster. So
Justin Jeffrey says, we went to a crappy buffet in Vegas on our first night there. We based all other restaurants on Triple D appearances during the trip, and it was a success. So there you go.
In Phoenix, we used to stretch the lunch break from McFarland, go to this absolute hole in the wall taco shop over in Ahwatukee, near where the Angels had spring training. And it showed up on Diners, Dives and Drive-Ins at some point. And it's pretty much true everywhere, right? The best food is always some hole in the wall joint that you have to hear about. Right. And so we were thrilled that our favorite spot was getting that rub, right? Was getting the push from Triple D. And then like the next week, the line was out the door. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it was already a stretch to get there and back during the lunch break. But now with the Guy Fieri push.
Yeah, the Triple D bump is a real thing, apparently.
It's a real thing, man. Big time.
Next up. Hey, everybody. Now that the G.I. Joe classified figure numbering is over 100, his strike team is number 110 for the record. I'm curious what you think the odds are the line will make it to 200. I get the impression the pace of releases will settle back down, and there aren't a ton of A-list characters that haven't received some kind of release. My guess is it has an 80% chance of happening. Thanks, Bradley Glenn, via email. I like this letter because he's kind of setting 200 up as this target, and then gives us a couple of reasons why it won't get there, and then says, 80%. 80% is overwhelmingly going to make it. But I think 200 is in the bag. Again,
yeah.
If you're talking about between 100 and 200, the fact that we're already at 110 means a significant chunk of that ground has already been covered.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about 100 figures. We're talking about 90. And we know that there's another 15 to 20 that just haven't been pumped out yet. So we already know that another good chunk of that ground has been covered. I think 200 is happening pretty easily. I think 80% is low. There would have to just be a catastrophic fall off in sales, which I don't know if that would happen necessarily.
I don't think by 200.
No. 300's a different story, but 200, yeah.
I think they could probably benefit from slowing it down just a little bit.
We can touch on that in a second, but
yeah.
What do you think? You think that number that 80% is too high or too low?
It's too low. They're already most of the way to that in planning, probably.
Right.
So
right. Just from what we know from name releases and accessories, I mean, we're 150. So yeah. Brian, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I think 200 is easy. I mean, if it came up, there are still some popular characters they haven't gotten to, but if it came down to it, they could still play the hits a little bit by giving us some updated uniforms for some of the popular characters that they've already released. So I don't think they'll have any trouble getting to 200. My question would be getting beyond 200 when you have done every feasible re-release of Snake Eyes, Duke, and Cobra Commander. When you've gotten through all of when you've gotten through all of the characters that everybody's even remotely interested in, where do you go without some kind of media to support it, to introduce and make popular a new character? I know we've gotten some new characters as well, but I mean, how far beyond 200 do you go without generating some new interest? That would be really kind of where my mind goes. I think they'll make it to 200, but how far beyond that without some help?
Right. No, definitely agreed with you, Aaron. We've long been proponents on this show of some kind of mass media tie-in, which just has been completely absent for G.I. Joe since this relaunch and this renaissance. Stuart Ratai says, "Hi, just arrived. Can we start the show again?"
No.
Don't do it.
Now we got to play the video again. That doesn't work.
No, I'm not going to break the show again. No.
You can restart the show. Just wait till it's over, and then hit play. You know, it really, honest. It shows you all the way from the beginning.
That's a good call.
See, Stuart knows my favorite bits to do.
Stuart's a plant.
But yeah, I 200 yeah, I'd be stunned if 200 didn't happen.
Unless they just don't have the manpower to make the figures anymore.
Right. But even then, it's not like they're going to the factory themselves. It's they hire somebody else to do it. So they're not even making the figures, they're just selling the figures. So yeah, it's with all the repaints out there, yeah, 200 no problem. No problem. Next up. Hey guys. Just wondered if any of you have any G.I. Joe Christmas traditions. I remember putting my Joe figures on the Christmas tree every year with the ornaments. In fact, one year I lost Stalker to the tree when my parents took the tree away, and I forgot he was nestled within those plastic branches. I found him the next year, which was a grand Christmas, by the way, the year I got the Sky Striker, Dragonfly, and APC. So any Christmas stories you can remember, Israel Wilkinson, again, via email. Thanks again, Israel. Thank you for 2 letters in 2 weeks. We just didn't have a chance to do post-sock last week. But yeah, actually, I have a very similar Christmas story. Back in '82, Stalker was one of the figures that I had already had Stalker, but I did put him in the tree, and he was there for a couple of days. I got pretty panicky about not being able to figure out where he was, so we searched that tree pretty good, and I did fish him out of there before too long. But yeah, very similar in that regard. But we'll let Brian start this. He's our guest. What Christmas G.I. Joe stories do you have, Brian?
Oh, well, maybe I'm not the person to start it because I don't know that I have a lot of G.I. Joe Christmas stories. I remember getting the headquarters command center, so that would have been '83. But we were buying Joe stuff all throughout the year, and in my memory, I can't exactly remember what we got for Christmas versus what we got all year round. So I don't know. I don't think I necessarily have any great G.I. Joe Christmas stories other than that time we were attacked by Cobra and, had to fend them off. But, they had shrunk down their vehicles into tiny toy size, but we figured it out. Other than that, yeah, nothing special.
Just get the cat out there. Just...
Ooh.
Yeah. Imagine this genius plan. Let's take our deadly weapons of war and make them this big. We'll definitely win now.
It's in the bag. But Mark Weber, Christmas G.I. Joe stories.
I mean, we used to, part of the absolute joy of being a kid when the line was rolling was getting the first vehicle where you got to open up the insert that showed everything that was coming that year, because that was back then. That's the first time you even learned about it at all, right? No rumors, no whispers, no internet. And there it was in living color right in front of me. And immediately you would look at it. And for me, I knew the big stuff, Terradrome, Flag, Defiant. I knew those were never going to happen. Never, ever going to happen. So my kind of Christmas ceiling was like the whale, right? Like the killer whale was the top thing that was even feasible to ask for. And so the year the hydrofoil was on the fold out, I'm like, that is the baddest ass ship I've ever seen in my life. And so when it came time for Christmas, that's the only thing I asked for. And if anybody said, what do you want for Christmas? Cobra hydrofoil, Cobra hydrofoil, Cobra hydrofoil. If I'd have gotten 2, I'd have been twice as happy, right? So I didn't care. And I was just throwing that out there. And it was right near the top of what you could expect to ask for, especially because I just had a birthday, right? So we don't want to spoil the kid.
Right.
So,
the day before.
Yeah, I want to wish everybody a happy Weber Day coming up. But the year I asked for only the hydrofoil from anyone who would listen, right? I'd chase kids on their bikes down the road and go, hey, I want the hydrofoil for Christmas. Tell your family, just so everybody would know. And then once the presents got wrapped under the tree, the next time I went to the store, I brought a Craftsman pull-out measuring tape, and I measured the hydrofoil box. And then when we got home, I measured the biggest present with my name on it. And it was an exact match. So did I A, play it cool, or was I B, an insufferably smug little bastard for the next week?
I'm going to go B on that one, Mark.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I was a jerk. I'm surprised I didn't take it back. I was like, I can't wait to open up my hydrofoil.
And then when you open it up, a giant Hickory Farms,
right?
Yeah.
So I think if Mom hadn't been so exhausted doing literally all the work of Christmas in our house, she might have rewrapped it in something else just to show me, right? Or worse, taken the guts out and put something else inside a hydrofoil box for me. So want to give a shout out to Nola Weber for dealing with my arrogant ass that year. But I mean, it's the hydrofoil, always a favorite.
In our house growing up, I dare say there were 2 G.I. Joe Christmases that stuck out. And Rob and I have very different viewpoints on the first one in 1982. Because in 1982, obviously, first year of the line, we both went gaga about it. My folks got robbed the entire line.
Ooh.
The whole thing. And I got a few figures because my folks were afraid that all that military was going to turn me into some kind of a psychopath.
But not Rob.
Not Rob. No, Rob was the oldest. He was the one that always followed orders. I was slightly more rambunctious, and not to say I was a bad kid, because good Lord, I was a nerd, but I wasn't quite the nerd Rob was. So they were worried about that. And so they didn't want to drill that into me too hard. And so, yeah, I kind of got hosed on that one. So I was not particularly happy in 1982 because we basically asked for the same stuff and one of us got it and one of us didn't. And it really ruined the whole holiday for me because the others, like, it's not like my folks shafted me. They got other stuff, but it wasn't the stuff I had asked for, and it wasn't the stuff that they very willingly gave to Rob. So I was not happy in 1982. I'll let Rob give his feelings on 1982 in a second. And then there was 1987 was the first Christmas we were in Indiana, and the folks just went crazy for that one, absolutely nuts. So it was kind of my last year of collecting Joe in a big way, and oh my God, was it a big year collecting Joe? That was the for me it was the best known as the Tomahawk Christmas, because I still have that Tomahawk, and but yeah, so that was really the golden GI Joe Christmas for me. It was all that 86 stuff. I guess it would have been maybe Christmas 86. Was it? No, because we were still in New York for that. It was 87. So it was all the 86 stuff that we didn't get the year before because we kind of went light in 86 because we knew we were moving at that point. But 87, oh my God, it all came in. So that was a good one. That was finally Mike's last G.I. Joe Christmas was his best G.I. Joe Christmas. But go ahead, Rob. Go ahead. Give counterpoint to my point.
Not only that, I think the figures that Mike got, I was supposed to get.
Well,
because they were ones that I didn't get.
Right. It was guys that weren't
we better appease Mike somehow.
Like it was Zap and Rock and Roll and guys like that. So you didn't have all they probably just bought you a bunch of doubles.
They may have, but yeah, there was a couple I was like, uh-oh.
I was visibly mad. Later that after, it was like, you got to be kidding me. I was just, I was a good kid. I got decent grades. I tried to, I was mad.
They for his birthday that May, basically, I was specifically sent out with my grandmother with a list of G.I. Joe things to get for Mike.
Right.
The new G.I. Joe stuff. Get it for Mike.
Right, because Mike was pissed.
Came back with the Falcon glider, which we thought was a good idea. Who knew?
Look, I've still got that grunt, man, so it wasn't terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But the APC, we got that. A bunch of figures.
That next birthday for me was also one of those Catholic birthdays where I had to give up the birthday for First Holy Communion. So I wasn't happy about that either. But then there was a load of that was my other big G.I. Joe day was that birthday in '83. So that was I had two. Those were my two. I was pissed. So pissed.
I can see it. Absolutely.
So
like
so bitter.
I even felt bad about being mad, but it was just like you can't stop. You can't not feel something, right? Like it's like one of those. Look, there's kids out there that have it a lot worse than me. I should be really happy with, but you took everything I asked for and you gave it to my brother. It was just
because you guys shared toys on some level, right? Did you guys play?
More or less. It was one of those things that. Like if you were hanging around the house, it was fine. But like if you were gonna, it was fine if I played with Rob's stuff. It was something else. Like if I played with Rob's stuff with somebody else.
Okay.
Like we had to be we were that protective of it in regards to. Well, I'm not gonna break it because it's really not mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if I break it. It's something else if my friend breaks it. Yeah, it's so. Those lines were often drawn, and it wasn't like on big stuff. We didn't double up on big stuff very often, but like figures and stuff, we did, and so it was really, really aggravating, Oh, because I didn't get excited. Like no other line got me that excited, right? To this, I'm 48 years old. I'm sitting here doing a G.I. Joe podcast. So clearly this captured something in my little 7-year-old brain. And just to just not see any of, oh my God, I was so mad. I even tried to discuss it rationally with my parents. Like, look, I know this is not the way I'm supposed to be feeling right now, but this is a gut punch. And they got mad, and then they were, they'd give me the whole spiel. I know I should feel bad about this. I know. Okay. I get it. I understand. Other kids that don't have it nearly so good. I get it, but you're not hearing what I'm saying.
Right.
And so that the fact that I was able to remain rational, I think is what spurred on the great Joeing of May of '83.
No, I think you handled that pretty well for a 7-year-old, right?
I had to, Mark. It was one of those things like as a little kid, I was always bigger than the other little kids. So I picked up real early that as soon as I threw hands or lost my temper, I was done. So I had to work very hard as a little guy to just keep all of that stuff down.
Right.
And just talk about things.
I like that you established the caste system, though, that there are kids who have it worse than you. And then there's you, and then there's Rob. And that ain't fair.
Right? Oh, look, man. And it's not Rob's fault, right? Like, Rob is the dream child. Okay. Rob was a good kid. He got good grades. He was polite. He was not a brown-nosed toady. He was just a generally and genuinely genial kid, right? Like, Rob was a dream as a child. So, like, everybody that our family knew, I wasn't that kid.
Right.
I was that kid's brother. And even though I was a pretty good kid, I had some stainage on me because I wasn't that kid. So believe me, oh my God, I was so happy. By the time when we did move, I was just happy that there were going to be a bunch of people that didn't know that I was Rob's younger brother.
Well, as nice as Rob was as a kid.
Yeah, and again, I had no anger towards Rob in that regard. Rob is a good brother now.
Yeah.
But like, I wasn't mad at him. He wasn't the person doing that to me. He was just being himself. So yeah, oh my God.
As later I'm slain in my sleep.
As I was going to say, I guarantee later that day when he got those D batteries into the Mobat and it started moving, you were looking for a steak knife.
Again, it wasn't Rob's fault. He didn't buy it.
Do you know how long those D batteries lasted?
About 20 years.
Years.
Yeah, I was not underestimating that. It was about 20.
Yeah.
Brandon R. asks, why didn't your parents buy Rob all the Cobra stuff and Mike all the Joe stuff and let you have it out? It actually, it more worked out the other way. Mike tended to get all the Cobra stuff. So,
but for year one, that's how do you say you're a young fan without saying you're a young fan? There was no Cobra stuff.
In 1982, that's two figures.
Yeah. That came out later than the other stuff, right? It took forever to get a bad guy to fight.
Yeah. But Torpedo Mike asked, Rob was good enough that there were more Irizarry kids. So yeah, and again, I couldn't have been too bad because there were two more after me. So I couldn't. I don't think I spoiled it too bad. Brian, you've been quiet. What's up with that?
Well, you're saying all these great things about Rob, and I'm just wondering what happened.
Jake Rose says, should we be charging for Mike's therapy? Probably.
I'm really glad to hear that you are taking all that anger and resentment and just pushing that down.
I'm a tumor.
Just keep on pushing that down.
Oh no. No. I found sports later on. It's fine now. It's okay. I wasn't any good, but I always worked real hard, and that was good enough.
Now he just sits on the couch and yells at the Giants.
I was thinking about why I don't have like significant Joe Christmas memories, and then I was remembering some of the Christmases. 1984, I believe, is the Christmas that we came home from my grandparents and found out that our house had been busted into and our TV was stolen, and that's all I remember about that Christmas. And I think 1985 was the year we had a horrible ice storm and we lost electricity for like 2 weeks. And that's all I remember about that Christmas.
Did you grow up in Oklahoma?
Yes.
It was Dust Bowl time, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I know I got Joe's stuff, but it was a tumultuous time and in this town.
Right. Well, look, winters are rough down there, man.
They can be. It's mild right now, but like when we get bad winters, it's like ice. It's like a 5-inch layer of ice on everything. It's just pure chaos.
Right. No, I dealt.
Snow sucks, but it's better than ice.
I dealt with those kind of winters in St. Louis. It was similar there, and that it's usually January, February. It's not so much November, December. But February is is probably the worst month to be in St. Louis.
So as long as we're having our little therapy session, I think that's accounts for why I don't have a lot of Joe Christmas memories that spring to mind.
And maybe why you're having trouble getting into the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
I think the Christmas spirit for you is like with a billy club and a knife at the door going, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Down with Christmas.
It's like American Dad Christmas.
Oh,
It's
right.
terrible.
Daddy's home. Ooh.
I can tell you where you can stick your bow.
Right.
All right, we need to cut Torpedo 83's mic.
Yeah, right. He's in Hawaii.
Ban him. Ban him
Bastard.
with the Nazi box. Yeah.
I'll give him his 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes.
Is that even an option still? Let me see.
As he's hanging out with Rick and TC in paradise.
I can put user in timeout. That's the 5 minute ban, or I can ban user and delete their comments.
Oh, we don't want to do that.
No,
it's the button labeled.
He's a nice guy.
It's the button labeled Renegade Biker.
Stop. Stop. Don't talk ill of the dead.
Right.
That's it. That's it for post-sock there. Remember, if you have letters that you'd like to see us answer, send them on in at What's on Joe Mail. What's on Joe Mind at gmail.com. I can't talk tonight. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted after my therapy session.
I know. Gotta exchange your present for that BetterHelp.com gift card.
It was growing up's tough for everybody. We all have stuff we got to get through. Mine was how does this generally nice kid, why does he look so mean? That was my whole deal. That was the thing. Why is this kid, why do we keep thinking he's lying to us when he doesn't lie to us? Strange times.
Deep cuts tonight.
Right. Oh,
I'm
God.
just glad I'm completely, perfectly well balanced. I grew up fine.
Yeah.
He said from under his pile of tinsel.
He's over there playing Rip Taylor.
We know you're still looking for that friggin' TV thief, man.
Yeah.
So you guys have any last minute holiday thoughts here? Anything you'd like to share with us in regards to G.I. Joe and the holidays? Anything?
Well, I do have to say that I got you to a point with a Dr. L. Van Pelt. But good news, her rates are only about a nickel.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Let's do a real quick run of what we got in. Rack time, Rob, go ahead.
I don't know if I want to say now.
Right?
Stocking?
You got a Batman stocking.
Let's see. And last week we got a buzzer. And I'm not going to shake him too hard because his glasses will fly off.
It would really be something if what Rob got in was everything that Mike wanted to get in.
Yeah. and right behind me, I have a Mobat and a Vamp and a hat. And Shockwave just today.
I haven't gotten him in yet.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
That's a problem.
Uh-oh.
It's all right.
Sleeping with the doors locked tonight.
He's on his way. It's fine. It's fine.
Is it possible your dad contacted Hasbro and went, ship Rob's first?
That does tend to happen.
Brian, how about you?
I got G.I. Joe number 301. That didn't just come in. I mean, I've had it.
Been a little bit.
And I got an issue of Toy Ventures magazine, which is published by Plaid Stallions, an excellent YouTube channel covering a lot of toys from the 70s. He did a guest spot on one of my episodes recently. Really cool guy. And that's kind of it. I had a phase where I was getting stuff in like almost every day, but since it's close to the holidays, I haven't ordered anything all that recently because other things take priority. So yeah, I'm a little slim on stuff that I got in. I got this box for the Lynx about 4 years ago, and I got these other things at various other times. That's all I got.
How about you, Mark Weber?
Well, more importantly is what I got out right here, baby. In the mail tomorrow, going to my friend Nick. Appreciate that. And then it was pile of loot time, which is the best time of the year. So they're all in the top shelf back there, but in order up there: Tunnel Rat, Desert Snake Eyes, Buzzer, Helix, Grunt, Shockwave, Crimson Viper, Ripper, and Hawk. So that's cool. And then I just kept it here because it's a cool looking box, right? This is pretty cool. My lone criticism, because I haven't opened it yet, kind of flimsy. It's an $80 toy, right? Like, come on.
Yeah, the box is a little soft on that one.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I can't complain this week because I got the stuff Rob got in, and I also I got myself a nunchuck.
Nice.
And one of these guys, he just showed up today. My Parth Wolf Spider Varma is in the house, and my Hiss Fire team came in, and Rob didn't get one of him, so one of them. So forget you, old man.
Yeah.
But and then we're gonna play a quick blind unboxing today.
Ooh.
Because it's time to play the theme music.
Dear God, 128.
Don't cut yourself.
I had no promises.
You'll cut your eye out.
Now that's good TV. That's good TV. People watch that.
I don't know how this box works. It's a repurposed box for whatever Dorman is. So
is it fragile?
It is marked fragile. It is also mashed in.
Awesome.
So, speaking of that, DC Comics has been publishing facsimile editions where they're reprinting an old comics, like ads and all and everything, exactly how they were back in the day. And I've got a bunch of them from the 40s, like All-Star 3 and Batman #1 and stuff like that. Back covers on all of them, Red Ryder BB guns.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so box is empty. And we have our bag. Things seem to be reasonably packaged reasonably well, rather. Let's see, get rid of the bag. And we have Bag O Beachhead.
Is he becrotched?
He is. And he's got his gun and his bag. And I have a backpack that I can throw on him. So
is it a real backpack or is it a real tan backpack?
No, it's one of the black ones. I have about 8 spares on the backpacks.
Okay.
So there he is, just at a bag right there. And then just as an extra from the same guy, I got a pretty good looking Thrasher with his baton in there somewhere. So that was my one eBay purchase for the month. After I dare say a record-setting November. We slowed down where this is the only one of the month so far. There may be more coming before the end of the year. You'll all have to know about that in about 3 weeks.
I think Dr. Freud would say, I think that you probably went a little crazy in November, knowing that Christmas might suck like usual.
That's it. Christmas didn't suck. Christmas rarely sucked. My folks love Christmas. Okay, they do. So even when things weren't going so hot, they took care of the kids at Christmas time. So I don't want to make it sound like Christmas was just this terrible ordeal, because it was certainly not the case. But that one year I was mad. I was mad that year.
Get it. Christmas was always big in our house too. We spent the whole day before it getting ready. But we don't have enough time to go through that.
Right. We often spent Weber Day.
The help gift card too.
We often got dragged to church on Weber Day, so that was never a good day.
Some years that was the only day we went to church. We'd go the whole year till my birthday, and then we'd be like, "Hey, we're going to the 4-hour church service tonight." And I'm like, "What the
everybody
now?"
Everybody pile in the station wagon.
You know, for my birthday, I got to go to the Knicks game.
Now we're going to church. Now we need Jesus. But hey, just saying. Coming soon.
Oh man.
Oh wait, what is that? An invitation?
Absolutely, you're all invited. You just got to get to Phoenix.
Oh man.
Yeah. Hey, you tried to put me in Kentucky. No.
I mean, no, but sure, I did. Yeah,
we're gonna
we'll
barbecue. It's gonna be great. And speaking of barbecue,
are you willing to give us the name of the lucky purchaser?
his name's Nick. I'll give you that, Nick.
Right.
So thank you, Nick. It'll be in the mail. And I even told him. He sent the PayPal. I think Sunday and Monday. He was like, "Hey, did the PayPal go through?" I said, "Totally did. Is it cool if I send it first thing Wednesday so I can give him his show farewell?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, absolutely. Do it. So, he's a good sport.
So let's we're gonna run a little long tonight, but let's roll into shout outs. End of the year shout outs. Because remember, we're not back till after January 1. Brian, you're our guest. Why don't you go ahead first?
Shout out to Marianne, my girlfriend, who has really embraced the G.I. Joe thing and has had a lot of fun with the shows and the community and all of that. She's really jumped into it with both feet. So shout out to her, to my kids who are going to have a good Christmas, damn it. So, get in the mood, get in the Christmas spirit. And to, not to Alistair, he's sleeping. He's had enough shout outs. Shout out to the other two cats, Lemon and Lime, who have made my life so much easier. So
who'd have thunk it, right?
Yeah.
More cats is more happy. Big boned people is here.
Hello.
Nice.
Good to see you. That's kind of our credo on this show, isn't it?
He's just early for Rocky IV.
Ragtime Rob, year-end shout-outs.
Shout out for whoever designed the school calendar this year. Thanks a lot. And a shout out to the studio audience, as usual. Thank you for spending 2 hours of frivolous nonsense with us.
2 hours easy. Mark Weber, shout outs.
Well, just saw in the comments, shout out to Andrew Gogan's brother, who apparently shares the worst birthday in the world with me. So that's solid. Have a not lousy birthday, I hope, brother of Andrew.
There's one that's worse.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The next day's worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yours isn't good. Next day's worse.
No, but people born, I knew a couple people born on Christmas, and one of them would always say, "Yeah, Jesus was born on my birthday." That's cool. It's one way to look at it. That's a glass half full kind of thing.
Yeah, I just got Yoko Ono. I mean, yeah.
Ooh. Shout out to Terry Desard, who was in the comments tonight. As not trying to embarrass him, but a pillar of the Joe community still. So for a guy who was critically important, who I think sometimes doesn't get the proper level of godlike respect he deserves. So good to see you, Terry. And to totally kiss ass and brown nose, because she's in the comments too, to Diana Davis, whose contributions to the Joe comic are fantastic and more important than ever, given Hasbro's recent self-inflicted loss of Michael Kelly. So to have her looking over the Joe comic makes me feel a little bit not okay, but I have some faith that we're going to be okay, given how seismic a loss Michael Kelly is.
Right. At least things are taken care of on the Skybound side.
Yeah, like at least we know there's somebody watching the ship, so appreciate that. And to everybody, like we wax a little cynical because it's funny, but I adore the Christmas season, right? The holiday season is kind of special to me. So I hope it's special to you too, and I hope everybody out there has happy holidays or a merry friggin' birthday if they happen to be celebrating this week.
I just wanted to throw a two. I also got one of those McNuggets from
Ooh,
McDonald's.
it's the best.
One of the newest. It's the one that's the McDonald's manager. So this McNugget, it sells McNuggets. It's like a human. It's like a McNugget trafficker.
Yeah.
What?
Total villain.
I almost forgot about the McNugget.
Oh man.
You got a wig and everything. See, and just anyways.
More like a chicken McTrater.
Right. Ironically enough, it came with my Big Mac meal. You know,
Right.
It sells McPeople.
Right. Right.
It's Silent Green is made of McPeople.
What?
Right. Absorbids wants everybody to know he's getting the super cut over to me very soon. And as soon as I get it, I'll toss it up there and we can all enjoy the majesty of the community calendar special together. And as well as getting prompted on the entire story to this point, just to get it all in order, so it'll finally make some modicum of sense to more than just me. But that's my first shout out there is, of course, to our good friend Absorbids, who provides so much enjoyment and content for us in these 20 to 30 second snippets that we get every week. Want to give a shout out, of course, to our wonderful friends and sponsors at Kokomo Toys. We'll take a second and sing the theme song one more time. Kokomo Toys.
Kokomo Toys.
Give a shout out to, of course, our special guest and lead-in show, Brian Lower, Hood of Cobra Commander 788. Give one more round of applause.
That's right.
You mentioned Terry deserved not getting the credit he deserves. I think we need to do something about that. I think you're right about that. Let's make sure that he gets some credit. Now, you've sparked an inspiration in me, and I want to make sure that people get the credit that they deserve for what they've done for the community, including you guys.
Ooh, I like this. Who
have done much for a very long time, and who I have admired since long before. Well, okay, shortly before I had my thing going. But
because you've had your thing going for a really long time too.
Yeah. I was in the basement there. While you guys were out here like doing important things, I was in the basement. I worked my way out of the basement. Now I'm on the big show.
You worked your way out to what, Acapulco? Where was that?
Ooh.
You were someplace warm and toasty not too long ago.
We took a trip to the Bahamas.
Oh, there you go. That's
nice.
Oh, I had to get some sun for the Zartan figure.
Entirely for science.
Nope.
Yeah,
total write-off.
Business trip. You can write it off. It's an expense.
That sun is overrated and dangerous.
It was overcast here. So I needed.
I like it.
Mark's got a thing about sun. It's not. Don't.
Yeah, the sun.
Don't worry about the Bahamas.
Yeah. Mm.
He is Zartan.
Yeah, like we're at 2 hours 3 minutes. If we go 5 more minutes, Mark will get burnt from his ring light.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
That's where Mark is at.
When Mike asked if I could do the show, I'm like, "Do we tape at night?" It's important.
Of course.
Kind of a deal breaker.
So cosmic rays, man.
Right.
Oh, and hey, I almost forgot. And maybe one of you was going to do it, so I'm going to steal the thunder from all of us at What's on Joe Mind to Mango Habanero on her very first Christmas with Joe Colton, the hostess with the co-mostess.
He's stealing my bit line for
line. I thought we might do
it. You gotta let him have that.
That was next.
I didn't know. I thought we were gonna forget. I should have let you go, and then I should have jumped. That's my bad. My bad.
Right, you big jerk.
So what were you gonna say, Mike?
I don't remember. I give up.
So bad. Can't believe I did that.
Anyways, we took care. We got Kokomo Toys. We got Brian. Did want to give a shout out to the co-hostess with the co-mostess, the first lady of GI Joe cosplay, Joe Colton. and her wonderful family celebrating their first Christmas with mango habanero. Thanks for that, Mark.
You still scored the goal. I just got the assist.
And of course, the wrist lock, Wes Whitlock, who got no mention from Mark Weber.
No. You cut me off when I was stealing your thunder.
I want to give a shout out to everybody who stepped in and co-hosted this year, especially Biff McHonky Donk himself, Phil Donnelly, and everybody else who took a turn. Oh, there he is. See, he heard us talking about him before.
Yeah, he heard me not giving him a shout out. So
I don't want to make a. I do want to single out. I do want to single out Phil, of course. I don't want to make a list because I know I'm going to forget somebody, and that's not cool. So if you took a turn co-hosting for us here, Lord knows there were lots of opportunities. We thank you so much for giving up your Tuesday night and stepping in and helping us produce content and do all those cool things and host.
Like our good friend down there.
Like our pal Alistair, who is looking at the camera. He's I had a black cat once. She was cool.
Is that Alistair Black?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if Brian's that far into wrestling, Mark.
Watch out!
Yeah,
watch out for the kick.
I'll take your word for it.
Give a shout out to everybody in the audience. To reiterate what Rob says, there wouldn't be a show without you guys. So we appreciate your coming in and tuning in every single week in some cases, and for many of you, every single year since 2011 at this point. I don't know. We'll be pushing 13 years come April, come Arbor Day. That's the unofficial birthday. We're gonna make Arbor Day a thing again by trying to pair our birthday up with it. So it'll be Arbor Day and What's on Joe Mind Day.
We're gonna get bar mitzvah,
right? We'll have to sing songs out of the 82 product catalog. So please, if you are still with us at this point, despite all the rambling, do all the cool YouTube stuff for us. Give a like to the video and a subscribe to the channel. If you're watching us on Facebook tonight, go home and give us some kind of a reaction. Give us a thumbs up or a heart or a little huggy guy. We love little huggy guy. If you're catching us on replay, we love you too. Please do all the cool YouTube and Facebook stuff there too. If you're catching us on audio, go to your favorite podcast provider and write us a nice 5-star review or whatever you can do to help drive algorithms over there. Whatever you do, again, happiness for us is just a couple of clicks away, or maybe a few keyboard taps. That's really all you can do. If there's more that you'd like to do, we do have a coffee account set up. The link for that is down below. If you subscribe as little as $1 a month, that gets your name in the credits at the end of the show. But you guys certainly help keep the lights on, keep the archives going, and pay for any of the production costs that the show is going. Hopefully, in the coming year, we will be able to do a little bit more with that. We've got some stuff in the works as far as archiving and old episodes being available and more available and things like that. So we will certainly keep your ears open. I will put my limited technical ability to the test in 2024. I think that's about it. Anything else? Anybody else? Last words going once, going twice. Any last words from Alistair?
Well, let's see. Alistair, sing the theme song to take us out.
Who's been most everywhere.
Yeah, so that's what he has to say.
Meow mix one.
God bless.
Meow.
I was going to say, God bless us, everyone.
Meow.
Cats are good for ratings.
Anyway. Oh God, you'd think we didn't grow up with dogs, but whatever. Anyways, that's it. That's it for us here in 2023 on the Big Show. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday night at 9:05 Eastern, and you'll probably get yourself some Starsky and Hutch reruns. because we won't be here. But we will have our recording with our first of our two special editions and our special guest there, and you'll find out the identity of him as we get closer to the day. I assure you, the interview has been long completed. So we're not going to record it tomorrow and then rush it up. No, we have it done for a while now. Mark will attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
But for my co-host, for our guest host, Brian Lower, Hooded Cobra Commander 788, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, the link for that is also down below. For my co-hosts, Mark Weber and Rob Irizarry, I'm Mike Irizarry. Be sure to join us on January 9th.
Ooh. See you next year
for the
Happy
next
holidays.
edition of the What's on Joe Mind team stream. But be sure to check back for all of our cool stuff going on through the holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that other good stuff.
Happy birthday. Jesus.
That's one of the holidays.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get anything. He's going to jump all over everything tonight. I'm going to kick him out while I wish him a happy birthday. We wish a happy birthday on the 24th to our very own The Honcho, Mark Weber. And as our friend Vagon likes to say, be safe. And if you can't, or stay safe.
Stay
and
safe. If you can't, be careful.
Be careful.
Beer.
I cannot talk tonight.
3D House of Killer Pancakes.
Beer.
Have a great rest of the week, everybody.
Beer.
There you go. There we go.
Would you like some syrup?
I got to make you hold it while I look for the button because I got lost in all of those. I got lost in all the community calendar intros.
Totally cool. I got a backup. Beer.
It's like when they would do freeze frames at the end of Chips.
Stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, everyone. Good night.
Beer.